My 40 female, 18-year-old daughter, Ava, dropped out of high school after getting pregnant by her then boyfriend, who's 19. Ava will be 19 soon and has no job and a baby. Her boyfriend, Andrew, moved to Miami for college. He never actually broke up with Ava, but instead told her they were still together, and even went as far as leaving a sleeping bag and other toiletries in her room to show her that they were essentially a family. Now he's changed his number and blocked Ava on social media after accusing her of cheating, so this could not be his baby. He ignores all communication and offers to prove he's the bio dad. I have been helping Ava with the kid, but here's the situation. I'm a single mom, and Ava's my second child of 3. My older daughter, 20, lives at home but works weekends as a barista and just got a job working 3 hours a week doing QuickBooks for a church, all while studying to be an ultrasound tech. She pays $150 a month in rent. If she wants new clothes or to eat out, that's all on her. My youngest son is a tween, and it's obviously my responsibility to pay for what my ex's support payments won't cover. However, Ava seems to think that because she technically can qualify as a high school super senior, she's essentially still a high schooler who can come home and expect that her food, shelter, and new clothes, plus fun expenses are covered, no questions asked. She thinks the biggest problem with Andrew going silent is that he's a jerk, and she believes some college girl has stolen him away. That is not adult thinking, and I'm worried that Ava will never get it if I don't spell it out for her. I told her that she has to show me concrete proof that she's working towards a GED, and then if she passes, some sort of useful certification, in which case I'll let her stay for free, or she needs to get a job. She can ask her sister if any restaurants are hiring, if a gym needs a front desk clerk, whatever. She told me she would rather just do high school. I said okay, but either way, employed or not, Andrew's the dad, and just because he's 19 doesn't mean he should get off any easier than a 39-year-old who got his wife pregnant and then left. He has to start paying child support. But Ava got angry, and neither Andrew or his siblings got it into her head that if she filed, he would lose his scholarship or be forced out of college, and that the judge would probably say that Andrew cannot make any money in college, so she gets no child support. I told her she doesn't understand how much diapers and everything else cost, and if she doesn't file for support, she's about to find out, because I'm kicking her out with $100, and that's it. And then if she needs diapers, she can go to the grocery store and see what the total comes to. I also printed out flyers about government social programs and taped it to her door. Am I the idiot for telling my 18-year-old daughter to either sue for child support or get out of my house? Edit. I'd also like to add that my daughter considered termination, but Andrew, whose family is Mormon, said that she'd go to the bad place if she did that, and that even thinking of going on the Planned Parenthood website would require her to repent. OMG, I'm so ticked off. You are not the idiot. I'm a little out of the game at this point, but as a single mother back in the day in Florida, when I applied for food stamps, I had to provide any info about the father, and the state took over and tracked him down. They took him to court and made him get a paternity test. I highly suggest you take this option out of your daughter's hands and start the process online. As hard as it is to give your daughter an ultimatum, it means you're going to need to follow through. Choices have consequences, and she will not understand until it hits her where it hurts. Your daughter's now an adult, and she needs to stop playing house at your expense and face facts. She is a child. Obviously, she didn't do it alone. If he faces consequences for his actions, so be it, but you can't be her partner here. Both of them need to grow up and accept responsibility. Tough love may be called for here. What do his parents have to say about all this? It infuriates me that the only worry seems to be his future and her getting to do what she wants while you pay the bills. It's time to get real here. Sounds like the dude's parents may not even know about the child. OP, his family is Mormon? The play might be to speak to their church about the upright young man who's abandoning the child he fathered out of marriage. That might put more pressure on them to settle. This right here. OMG, if you went to their deacon, I can guarantee he and his family would be ripped a new one. If they didn't correct the problem, they might even be shunned. He's avoiding paying child support. He's playing the clean little Mormon boy who was seduced by Eve over there. OP should spread the news far and wide and shame the crap out of him. One of my male 35 best friends, male 34, got married last week. He drinks alcohol, and our friend group will meet up at breweries a few times a month to hang out. His fiance, now wife, does not drink. It's never been a part of her life. My wife and I got a hotel room by the reception space and Ubered to the wedding. The ceremony occurred, and we went to what was supposed to be a cocktail hour, and there was just soda and water, no alcohol. We didn't know about it ahead of time. There was a palpable buzz among our friend group at the lack of booze. A lot of us had spent money on a hotel room and Ubering, anticipating drinking. I'm kind of angry. The bride and groom came to cocktail hour. Everyone cheers, and when the bride and groom come to mingle with us, I ask where the booze is. His new wife chimes in, saying her family does not drink, and they were paying for the wedding, thus no alcohol. I tell them we should know that ahead of time. I wasted money on a hotel room and Ubering. I would have just driven if I'd known, or not even had come. The bride does not take my commentary well and implies I might have a drinking problem. I don't. I only drink with my friends. The groom says I don't need to be such an idiot. I reiterate that I spent a bunch of money on something I didn't need. We all did. The bride was angry at me and asked me to leave. My wife and I leave, but it's clear I touched a nerve. In our group chat, friends were mixed about me saying something. My wife said I wasn't wrong, but my timing was wrong. So, was I the idiot? You are the idiot. While I do believe this type of thing should have been announced beforehand, you're saying you might not even have come to the bride and groom is beyond the pale. If you were only there for an open bar, you aren't really their friend. Their mistake was a hosting faux pas, but you were not only a rude and hostile guest who confronts someone about this at their wedding reception, you were a crappy friend. How dare you imply that the central purpose of weddings is marriage, and that the sole role of a guest or member of the bridal party is to witness and support a marriage? We're way past that. It's a popularity contest, gauntlet for social judgment, Instagram photo op, chance to get smashed and make an idiot of yourself, hopefully for free now. Keep up. What a great friend you are. Wasted money, honoring your friend's union, but not getting free booze. Man, if only there would have been a way for OP to find out ahead of time. Like maybe if he had known his best friend's fiance didn't drink, he could have asked, "Hey, what's the alcohol situation at the reception?" Or even is it an open bar? Or absolutely not the responsibility of the bride and groom to announce whether or not they'll have alcohol, which has nothing to do with their wedding. They have enough things to worry about regarding planning. No need to add, is OP going to get butthurt if he can't get wasted with his bros, to the list. Disagree. Should OP also have asked if there would be food, or should they eat before arriving, or if there's going to be music? There are certain expectations from a wedding reception, and if you're going to deviate, then you need to inform your guest. The groom should have especially done so if they all go out drinking almost weekly. Everyone's the idiot here, and OP is an idiot for that comment about not attending. My brother Harold and his wife, Ashley, have been struggling with infertility for a while now. They're in their middle 30s, while my wife, Erica, and I are just entering our 30s. They had 3 different losses. After the latest one, my wife got pregnant with our first child a few weeks later. He said congratulations when I informed Harold about it, along with everyone else in the family. They visited me a few days later today, though, and said, "We wanted to say congrats again, but figured we'd ask, were you trying for a child?" I was unsure what they meant, so he clarified that he was asking whether I intended to have a kid. I replied by saying yes, and he looked shocked. He said, "I can't believe you did that." I got slightly angry and asked him what he was on about, and he said, "My wife had a loss, And you wanted to have a kid just a few weeks later? He accused me of being a cruel, sadistic idiot. I got angry and asked him what I was supposed to do, and asked him not to pick a fight. He said there's still time to rectify this. Visit a doctor and get rid of that child. At this point, I lost my temper and said, "There's no way you're having kids with that attitude." I asked him to get out of my house and said my wife's pregnancy was not dependent on Ashley's loss. Ashley looked really upset. He yelled at me a lot and left in the end. Am I the idiot? My jaw dropped when I read what your brother said to you. Not the idiot. You can offer him some compassion and understanding for his grief, but this is a territory where it's fair to go no contact with him, especially if he continues to antagonize you about it. Just wow. They are understandably upset by their fertility problems, but that gives them no right to try to control you having children. The demand to end your child was so far over the line, you couldn't even see the line in the distance. Could you have used gentler language? Possibly, but you were blindsided by their words. I chalk their crazy responses to stress from miscarriage, but tell your brother that if he ever suggests that for your child, you will never speak to him again. I wonder if 1% of this insanity is Harold assuming that he's going to do everything before you do, including having a kid, just because he's older. The other 99% of this insanity is him thinking that you having a kid has anything at all to do with him. He seems like the type of person who thinks the situation is unfair if he doesn't have an advantage. To him, fair is unfair, maybe. I'm so sorry it said something so disrespectful about your growing baby. The world doesn't stop because you're in pain. My nephew got married a couple of months ago. It was a semi-casual wedding at the park. I'm the guardian of my sister's kids. She has 3 girls, tween, kindergartner, toddler, and 2 boys, pre-tween, and young grammar schooler. I wanted the kids to look nice for the wedding, so we went shopping. The boys both got new jeans and a nice shirt. The girls each picked out a dress. My youngest niece got a unicorn dress and wore fairy wings. My middle one got a dress with princesses and wore a big pink tiara. The oldest picked out a simple white dress with pink and yellow flowers. I honestly thought neither my nephew nor his wife would have an issue with the fairy wings or tiara, but my sister-in-law hated that my tween niece was wearing white. She wasn't in a puffy white ball gown. It was a little sundress with pink and yellow flowers. They told me to change her clothes. I had a t-shirt and shorts in the car, but she loved that dress, and there was really nothing wrong with it. They've distanced themselves from us, but we saw them at Christmas. They got a present for all the kids except the oldest niece. She's such a shy kid, she didn't say anything, but I could tell it broke her heart. I confronted my nephew and his wife about it, and they said they gave presents to everyone who behaved appropriately at the wedding. I reminded them that she was a teen, and she just wanted to wear a pretty dress that didn't resemble a wedding dress at all, to a wedding. I called them idiots for punishing a kid for what she wore to a wedding, but they're still saying it's my and her fault, and they still can't believe I let her wear white to a wedding. Am I the idiot for letting her wear a white dress to the wedding? So they thought people might mistake a tween for the bride, then punish her for not giving her a Christmas present, despite her having no idea what she did wrong. Your nephew and his wife are pathetic, entitled individuals. I suggest you distance yourself from them as people who cause this type of drama to live off it, and this pattern will keep repeating. It may even escalate into a vendetta against your niece, which no one remembers how it started. Not the idiot. I want to go, everyone's the idiot here. Why ask for approval for the clothing if you don't care about the answer? Why bring extra clothing for the girl if you wouldn't use them when requested? It's a beautiful dress, and if they were the ones asking, I would have told them to let her wear it. However, they disapproved. They asked you to find her something else, and all you had to do was find something else, a feat that likely would have been far easier with a tween than a toddler. The fact that they punished your daughter instead of blaming you is cruel and absurd, because at the end of the day, you and you alone messed up here. This breaks my heart and is insanity. What was sister-in-law worried about? That people would mistake a kid in a floral sundress For the bride? What the heck? She's being extremely unreasonable. This no white clothing rule is only applicable to adults. They're kids, and it doesn't matter for them. The whole thing is to prevent someone from stealing the groom's attention. So maybe ask if sister-in-law feels threatened by a little girl. She should sort her mind out before coming at you. Punishing your girl for something like this as well? That's such a disgraceful and immature behavior from her. I'd get your niece another present or take her for some ice cream to reinforce that she's not done anything wrong. My 19 male, brother teen, broke both of his arms in two unrelated incidents that took place a week apart from each other. He now has 2 long arm casts and can't do anything alone. Our mother, 45, who raised us alone, has been helping him out. Yet now she has to go to another state to be with my grandmother, who just entered hospice care. I understand it's important for my mother to be there, but I told her she should make arrangements for some professional caretaker to tend to my brother while she's away. I don't mind cooking for him or feeding him, but I don't want to take care of him after he goes to the bathroom or bathe him every day, and neither does he. It's just too weird for 2 brothers to be in this position. My mother can't understand our discomfort. She says I'll be home anyway. True, I'm already on a break from college, and I won't start my new job until next month. And she thinks I'm just creating additional stressors and financial difficulties by pushing for hired help. I offered to help find this person and even to use some of my savings to contribute to the cost, but she still refused, saying I was just looking for a way to ease my conscience and that it was already clear she couldn't count on me. I'm feeling like the biggest idiot in the world right now. Do you even know what it would cost to employ a home help/caretaker? Or is this a half-baked suggestion where you don't understand the fees involved? You are the idiot. You should look into it. At the same time, consider how much money your mom will be shelling out on the trip to where your grandmother lives and how much money she'll lose if she has to take unpaid leave. Dude, I don't think you realize how much a caregiver costs per hour. How long will your mom be away? If she has to take unpaid time off, that leaves your household already in a worse financial position. Your family may really not be able to afford help, or the help may eat up your mom's emergency fund, if she has one. What I'm saying is that you need to be realistic. Even if you got someone to come in for 8 hours a day, that still leaves time when your help is needed, and more coverage costs even more. I disagree. Not the idiot. You are not your mother's co-parent, and you're not the idiot for offering to help her find a more suitable intensive care provider for your brother. There are likely other ways she can provide the level of care required for her son that will not be so intrusive to your relationship with him. She needs to figure her situation out. Since the brother can't toilet himself, and that's the primary task the OP won't help with, you're talking about 24/7 in-home care. That's not hundreds of dollars a week. That's thousands of dollars a week. It would likely be cheaper for the brother to be admitted to a care home. Unless this family is absurdly wealthy, the choices are the OP grows up and supports his family, or the mother can't go to her dying mother.